Azure Functions work really well with GitHub and other source code providers. What I'm going to do in this video is demonstrate how you can work with Azure Functions, GitHub, and kscratch to enable fast, rapid prototyping whilst at the same time working within your source control environment. I'm going to start off by creating a new repo on GitHub. I'm just going to call it a test function repo here. And we're going to put the code from my new function inside this repo to work with it locally. Okay, so let's create that. And once that's been created, I'm going to go and grab the code and I'm going to clone it down to my local machine. Okay, so in my GitHub folder, I'm just going to type clone up here. It's going to go off and grab it down to my local machine. So I've got this local copy of the repo here. Okay, the next step is to go into my new Azure function that I've created, go into the function app settings, click on go to app settings here, and I'm going to grab the publish profile, and this will allow kscratch to go and talk to the Azure functions for it. Now, I could paste that in this directory here, but that runs the risk that it might be actually checked into GitHub, and that's going to cause all sorts of problems for us. So I do actually have the opportunity to put this publish settings file at any folder up the tree, so I can grab it from here and I can paste it a level up. I'll just delete this other one. So that way we don't run the risk of it ever being checked in. kscratch is going to go and look up the tree automatically for that. So the next step is to actually use kscratch to pull down the files from the existing function. So we can go into command prompt here, and we can type ks-g for get, and that's actually going to go and pull down all the information from that function up on Azure down to here. So here it is here. What that's actually done is gone up to Kudu, and it's grabbed these files using the Kudu API and brought them down to the local machine. So now that we've got the files locally, we can again use kscratch to run a log, -l, which is going to spit the log stream out to the local machine, and -m to monitor. So that's going to go and monitor the local path for any changes. So now I can jump in here and I can go say, edit with Visual Studio Code. And here's my run.csx file, nice highlighting with excellent IntelliSense and things like that. And see here we've got a bit of text here that we might just change to something like that. Now I'm just going to pop this over here so we can still see it, and I might just run that again. Here we go. Code over here. Okay, so when I actually save that file, it detects the change and it instantly sends it back up to Azure Functions for us. So if we actually go and have a look at that function now, up here, we'll go back into the function output, video ingestion here, and we'll see that it says the function's changed some input. If we run that and go back out here, we can see that the function will run, and you can see here it's actually output that in our local machine. So now that we've done our changes in Visual Studio Code, we can of course just use the built-in capabilities of GitHub here, or Git, to go and say we change some text. This is going to go and check that into GitHub for us. So we'll sync that up. So the last step is actually linking up video management to source control. So we can go to function app settings and click configure continuous integration here. Okay, so you need to set it up. I'm going to choose source. You can see there's many providers. In this case, I'm going to choose GitHub. Okay, I've already got some authorization here, so set up. I've pre-logged in before. Here's our test function repo. When you go OK, what that's going to go and do is set up a GitHub webhook callback. So whenever you check anything into that repo, it's going to automatically build over here. And we'll start seeing deployment happening in this area. That deployment's now running from GitHub for the first time. Once that's completed, the code we'll be seeing will have come from GitHub instead of from directly from kscratch. Now that's completed, you notice that the function's gone into read-only mode, so we're no longer able to edit in here. I cannot click save. I cannot edit it up here. If I click save, nothing happens. But I can still edit it in kscratch. So where we want to be able to deploy from GitHub, but also edit our functions for rapid prototyping means, I can go back in here. I can change this function processed a HTTP request. And again, when I save it, it'll immediately go up to the function for editing. Okay, it's been sent up. So now if we go back into our system, out and in again here, let's ignore that. Okay, the interesting thing, it hasn't refreshed it in here, but that's because it doesn't know that it has to. If we click run, you can see it actually does show the new output. And same over here, the same output over here. Now, again, I can check this in. Once I'm finished prototyping, and the GitHub hook will run, and our function code will be synchronized again from GitHub instead of from this prototyping tool. You can see that the build has happened and it's happy about it. Go back across to our function app. Need to refresh it. And after refreshing it, we can see that the code has come in from GitHub this time.